Wake up, Shinigami. You're chugging Bleach with the only podcast that unlocks your bunkai.
Welcome to Chugging Bleach, our anime review podcast where we watch all of Bleach. You know, that series that ran for a long time.
Never heard of it.
I'm your host, Bob Video Games from GigaBoots.com. Here was Anime Danime from GigaBoots as well.
Glad to be here.
KZ Excellent from KZExcellent.com.
That's me.
And Mr. Field Wild Ride from Twitter.
We made it to the end of the first season. Only 74 more to go.
That's probably right. I feel like there's probably 74 seasons.
Yeah, we're still on opening 1 of 18.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have a 10-year plan.
Yes. Today, we watched through episodes 16 through 20, closing out the first arc. But before we get to that, Phil, can you tell me about Patreon?
What is that?
Well, you see, Patreon. Patreon is a really great website where you can give your favorite creators money on various. And they have various different payment plans. There's
cool.
many creators on Patreon. There's all sorts of different
neat.
things. We are also on Patreon.
Cool.
That's the most important thing because we're the most important. You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GBPodcasts. For as little as $5 a month, you get many benefits. Specifically, you get access to this show, Chugging Bleach, early. You also get Mondo Cool, our Dragon Ball review podcast, early. Cursed Content Club commentary tracks. We do a wonderful show where we rate horrible movies. You can get a commentary track of the movie featuring us. Cursed Content by Committee, the same thing, but Patreon exclusive, and you get to vote for the horrible movie. Armchair Dev Extras. We do a wonderful show called Armchair Devs where we stab each other for 45 minutes and then explain the subtle symbolism and meaning behind those knives, which is Patreon exclusive. And other benefits, that's patreon.com/GBPodcasts.
Bob, when you told him to explain Patreon, my brain went to the Company Man YouTube channel and expected him to go, now Patreon was founded in 2008. Before this, their business investors tried to do something else and it didn't work. Here's why I think Patreon's a success.
I thought Phil was going to go into, here's the book report I did in the last 10 minutes before class.
He's like, and to close out my statement on Patreon, here's the home address of every executive.
That checks out. Okay, Dan, I'm going to need you to take us through Bleach.
Oh, yeah?
Some of the most important lore episodes we're getting in this whole season.
We did get a lot of lore. We also got some really choice animation, but I guess we'll talk about the lore and the episodes and cover the animation as we go. So we open this episode exactly where 15 left off. Rukia has left a note for Ichigo and gone off running into the night as two badasses appear in midair and say some shit. We open the episode literally on her running and doing flashbacks to the first 15 episodes of the series. And my brain went, it's happening already. The thing they talked about where the beginning of an episode is 4 minutes of old content. Oh, no.
No, it's worse. It's much worse in those.
But see, this was like a primer almost. It was almost like, imagine this every time, Dan. And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want to do that.
Well, this had a reason. You know, it's like, oh, she's thinking back to all these things. It's flashing through all of that. Later, it's just, we're going to show this to you and the narrator's talking.
Yeah, I keep thinking about the some late episode in Inuyasha where they're like, let's just intro every episode with a full explanation of what the series is. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, where I'm fine when they do flashback stuff when it's like they build the episode around it. Where it's like, okay, these characters are gonna like, explain some things that happened, and it's based for a plot thing, instead of, all right, we need to get this out every week. We need time. We're running out of paper.
Yeah, no, it fits here. I couldn't help but think about that.
Oh, don't worry, it's gonna get bad, and I'm really excited.
What the future holds for me.
We do use the 0 on the tightness scale.
When literally nothing happens in an episode, that's when you get the full 0.
Oh no. But yeah, we have a sappy piano song playing as Rukia is thinking about mostly Ichigo, but occasionally Orihime, and how Orihime's like, promise you'll come back and hang out with us tomorrow, and she goes, I'll think about it, and she's like, that's what you said before, and she's flashing
she's
back.
Well animated. She has a lazy eye.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Flashbacks
great
have
animation.
film grain put over the digitally animated anime to show you it's in the past.
Yes.
I had to pull out my DVDs to watch this because our internet went down last night.
Our internet went down right as we were going to watch the episodes for Chugging Bleach, and I was like, that's okay. At least DVD has really good audio quality. Guys.
Does it?
I've never heard a quieter DVD in my life. I had to max out my volume on the speakers.
Oh.
Do you know what that means for my set? If I were to browse the PS4 with it maxed out, we would be dead now.
on this TV, I feel like it's too loud at 12.
Oh, I'm talking about we have some bookshelf studio monitors type things. So 0 on a decibel scale is deafening for moving through the settings on a PS4 OS. And Bleach, the DVDs are so quiet for some reason.
You should have just kept it on that volume, then played Doom.
The fucking neighbors would have been upset because the wall would have fallen down.
At least they're not talking about Kevin Smith again.
But yeah, it was really weird, and it wasn't just that it was quiet. It sounded really terrible. It was like the worst sounding.
Yeah, the intro soundtrack, the intro song was just awful. I don't know why.
You could have gotten a better quality rip of it at 96 kilobits per second on Kazaa back in the day. That's how rough it sounds.
Kazaa!
But I was actually going to bring up that DVD set came with some key art. And it all looks so much better than what actually is in the show. I was just like looking at this like, these details didn't come in at all. Like there's the big scene of Chad when he first gets the arm from last set episodes. And he has like a detailed shirt drawn on him, which is just a plain color in the main show.
Yeah, it had a lot of detail in the flowers and stuff. And I was like, that's kind of hilarious. You need to stop looking at this. We're about to watch the anime.
If only you got to hear DVD quality ending 1.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to go back.
It might take
My
some of
goal
the
is
edge
for
off.
us to shit on that ending every episode. Even when we're at like ending 8, we still got to talk about that one.
But yeah, no, as Rukia is running, she thinks to herself, all these feelings are a nuisance. They're unbecoming of me. I've remained too long. And then it cuts to Renji in the sky, and he goes, yes! Finally get it, don't ya? And I was like, what the hell's going on?
And this is the moment I'm like, yeah, here we go.
He says, by skulking, you've managed to prolong what little life you have left, which I find it to be a really funny statement. But she yells at him, what are you doing here? And he goes, don't you think you've grown just a little too lax, talking about how she didn't notice she was being followed by, was it Captain Kuchiki and Renji, who I believe is a lieutenant.
Yes.
Of they don't say it yet, so I don't get to cheat with my notes. But either I don't know the word. Unit 6, Faction 6, Team 6, 9.
Squad.
Yes.
Squad.
It's squad. Yeah.
Is it a 6 or a 9?
I
9.
don't fucking know.
It's one of those two. I can't remember. I think it's 6.
Okay.
But you know what?
Byakuya is 6.
Okay, there we go. But yeah, they're pretty pissed that she's not giving up the ghost to explain where Ichigo is, because Ichigo is, quote, when I say they're pretty pissed, I mean Renji's loud and angry, and Byakuya is just completely silent for this period of time.
He's cool anime man who doesn't talk.
Incredibly. But yeah, they're pissed that Ichigo, who has all of her powers, she won't give up Ichigo. And then he's like, it is a human, isn't it? You have a stupid human expression on your face. And I'm like, no, she's just poorly drawn this episode. Stop being mean.
So it's apropos of nothing. I have to mention this Bleach trivia. Kubo's editor said, "Stop whatever the fuck you're doing and get to this thing you told me about that you had planned." So there's gonna be a lot of weird stuff over like these 5 episodes in the next 5.
Cool.
It's like where we're gonna look back and go, "What the fuck was he talking about?"
Oh yeah.
Then they say, Renji says the sentence, "Tell us where this human is, Rukia. It's over. We're taking you in. We're going to take the human who stole your powers and kill him." And then it cuts to Byakuya not emoting. And as Renji's about to do something, a blast of light comes out of the darkness, and it ends up being Uryu Ishida. And then he's like, "Hey, who the hell are you?" And Uryu goes, "Just a classmate, one who hates Soul Reapers."
This scene is so good.
so
Every
good.
part of this scene is incredible and is a 10.
Casting Derek Stephen Prince as him was so good. Such a brilliant decision.
After saying some shit like that, he immediately rolls into, "Oh no, I was just walking through the town at night, having just visited Sunflower, a store that sells yarn and stuff, and I just stumbled across you. It's not like because I could sense Soul Reapers, I sensed something was wrong and came running with this bag as a lame excuse." And Ruki is like, "Oh god, what a dumbass."
I'd rather just die.
She did have that look, yeah. And Renji just starts owning Ishida. He's like, "Oh man, sorry." He's like, "Your answer sucks. Try again." And then Uryu Ishida goes, "I'm Uryu Ishida. It's a pleasure." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Why didn't you say that sooner?" He's like, "Well, I thought you should know the name of the man who's going to kill you." And for some reason, Ishida's very confident about this.
Then he's owned off screen.
And
Yeah.
he's-
Renji got really mad though.
Renji says he's gonna kill him,
yeah.
and then he doesn't. So
Well, yeah. He was pretty owned. I don't know.
he was
Okay,
pretty owned.
here's what you need to know about Renji. He's a dipshit.
Yeah. He had Axel energy.
Yes. I mean,
Probably didn't even actually beat Ishida. Byakuya probably just looked at him.
We then cut to Ichigo peeing and thinking about stuff, and Cone taped to the back of the toilet, and then we get the interstitial, because now it's part B. The next scene, Cone is smelly, and it's funny. That's the scene.
keep that in mind.
Rukia apparently taped him up behind the toilet because he caught Rukia writing the note. Cone's, screaming about, "How the hell didn't you notice this note that was sitting on your desk?" And he's like, this is ridiculous. How did you not notice? And he's like, "I don't know. I didn't read it. I don't notice things." And then he opens the letter. He looks at it, and Rukia is like, "Goodbye letter has a code, and it says decipher this." And every word just begins with "buh." Like, for certain reasons, I must go.
The ultimate cipher.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the corner it says, "I left, use a hint." And then in the lower left, there's a weird bunny rabbit. That's
It looks
what
more
they
like
say.
raccoon,
It
but
is
yeah.
absolutely that. This is a localization thing. But that's supposed to give him the hint to remove the buzz. And then Cone yells, "Ruki is in the middle of something and she didn't want us involved." And then, Ichigo's like, "Oh no, we have to chase after her. Let me rip that pill out of your stomach again." And Cone's like, "That's disgusting. I don't want you shoving your entire arm down my throat. That's fucked up." And then we kind of, oh yeah, that's right. Urahara just shows up in the window and he goes, "Hey, need some help?" And it's like, "You used to showing up in little boys' windows at night, Urahara? You seem weirdly casual and experienced at this."
He's like, "Hey, stop doing a comedy act and hurry up."
"Hey, your filler time's up. We have to get back to things happening." So, Uryu's owned off screen apparently. He's really thoroughly owned, and Renji's gonna do some shit until Ichigo shows up and he yells, "My name's Ichigo and I'm gonna be the one who beats your ass." And then he goes, who's this dumbass with this giant, oversized, stupid-looking Zanpakuto? And then Ichigo goes, my thing is pretty big.
Yeah.
All I had to compare to before was Rukia's, but I guess this is pretty big, huh? It was weird. It was a really weird conversation. Then Renji calls him Carrot Top. Ichigo and him get in a fight.
It's so well animated. It's just Renji hitting him over and over again with the same attack.
It's
really good.
It's really good. As they said in the outro thing, cut and slice and cut and slice and cut and slice.
Yes, at least they know what they did, but God, why'd they do it?
I can't even remember which episode that was the next time on, because I'm pretty sure I wrote a note about it.
It might have been this episode, but it could have been the next one. There's no way
it is the next one.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. I wrote that too because it was too much.
But yeah, we get a tussle with the swords real quick, and then Renji leaps into the air, and as he leaps in the air, Ichigo gets sliced in the shoulder. And he goes, yeah. He goes, you're dumb. You should have stayed home. It is at this moment I wrote the note. Renji has lightning bolts all over his face.
Yes, his eyebrows are pretty epic.
Yup.
He also, because Byakuya still is explaining this shit, he says that might be the person who damaged Manos Grande to send him back to Hueco Mundo.
Yes! I didn't know they said Hueco Mundo so early.
I love it because I wrote down that's what backstage is called.
Yes.
Because it just looks like he's pulling a sky-colored curtain around him, and he's like, okay, back to Hueco Mundo.
He had to take a siesta, okay?
Could you imagine if they all sounded like that?
I want to believe every Menos Grande has a big sombrero they only wear when they were in Hueco Mundo.
Yes, it would be appropriate to wear it in the real world.
No.
Now, if you're wondering, Hueco Mundo is just Spanish for Hollow World.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right.
Is it here that Renji already loses that cool visor? Or is that early next episode?
That's next episode.
Okay.
We're still in Renji is beating the shit out of Ichigo, basically.
Which pays off the thing from last episode.
You didn't even ask your Zanpakuto its name. You couldn't possibly defeat me. Come back in 2,000 years. And then he calls it Sabimaru. And I wrote down, is a very cool hooked bullshit sword.
Yeah, it's he yells roar Zabimaru.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
XD
It's a whip sword.
I did.
His sword is the fish from Final Fantasy VII. The weird segmented chainsaw fish. Yeah, very cool. So then we get to next episode. Next episode starts, we're still in the last episode.
Yeah.
Look, when you have a cutoff like that, you kind of have to give you something.
Get ready, Dan.
Renji says it can change its size and strength based on spirit energy. And then, because, Ichigo got the slash in the shoulder, Renji saying Ichigo didn't have the strength to move. But I wrote down here, he said he didn't, but he clearly does because he just did. What a dumb asshole. Ichigo just starts glowing with energy and gets a bit sicko-faced. He's going.
Yup. What?
Ichigo just dosed up and he's ready to go like crazy on a bitch. Because he doesn't look like...
He injected steroids into his eyeballs.
Yeah, he does have like some crazy energy to him.
It's really good because he doesn't have that typical anime guy like, oh, I'm going to do a cool thing. No, he looks like slasher villain in the face, and it's really good, and I appreciate that. It's a nice change of pace. I don't know if it was intentional, but...
I think it actually was.
So then what happens is he slashes at him, and it's really cool. I believe this is when Renji says, there's no way he could lay a scratch on me. And then he's like, I'm sorry, were you saying something? I didn't mean to interrupt, but you said something about not being able to lay a scratch on you. And then Renji's like, what the hell? And then Ichigo does a cool slash, jumps up over the air, lands, and then starts running at him with trippy effects all over him while having a completely hilariously smug face.
This was very economical to do it. added a lot of motion for the least amount of time.
I actually do genuinely love how it looks. Renji goes, I don't understand what's happening to me. Oh, wait, no, that's Ichigo. He goes, I don't understand what's happening to me, but I like it.
Here we are, episode 17. He's gone Ultra Instinct.
Yes, and that's a lot faster than it took Goku, obviously. So Ichigo's gonna finish off Renji. He's jumping through the air. Renji's like trapped, kneeling, and just completely getting owned, and he's gonna get killed by Ichigo. And right before Ichigo fucking kills him, his Zanpakuto snaps off. And now he looks down the street in the distance where Byakuya is, which, in case, someone's new to Bleach, Byakuya is Captain Kuchiki, which thusly makes him Rukia's brother. There we go. I forgot to cover that last time thoroughly. Here we are. Anyways, Byakuya's holding a sword!
It's very much that scene with TA in the arm.
And then everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
It has the exact same energy.
And then there's a really good shot.
Your best shot. I already have. Holds up his arm.
That was a really good scene.
Yes, it was obviously the best part of the whole Dark Tournament.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of any other anime fights I've ever seen where it's two people fighting on a sidewalk for more than one episode.
Yeah. This actually stuck with me. I actually saw this out of any context a long time ago. Not the whole thing, just a part. I was like, that's fucking weird.
Like, they never moved to the street ever. It's just...
I think Renji and Ichigo ended up in the street, but Byakuya is just politely sitting on the sidewalk.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, he's trying to figure out what the hell just happened with Zanpakuto, with his Zanpakuto, and it shows Byakuya sliding past him. Slid the huge, and then Ichigo started bleeding, and his sword snapped off. And he goes, "Wait, what just happened?"
Trigger was inspired by this.
Did he just cut me? And then he starts falling and bleeding, and Byakuya goes, "You're slow, even when you're falling." And he's going to own the shit out of him, and Rukia just screams. And then one of my favorite animation problems of this whole episode happens.
No.
He doesn't own Ichigo because Rukia screams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a shot, sort of lower perspective on him. And Byakuya is just condescendingly talking. He closes his eyes. And when he goes to talk, his jaw becomes a wholly separate piece of animation that doesn't line up. It's just segmented, and you see a line starting at his upper lip.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I was cackling because these DVDs aren't sharp in the least, and I can see that on the DVD.
We need the Blu-rays. I want to know the difference.
Oh yeah. No, now I'm too curious because I can't fathom this audio quality being what they printed on the fucking Blu-rays.
God, just fucking Byakuya, the fucking South Park Canadian.
Yes. Renji's like, no, this kid's different. He must be ... as Renji's thinking. And then Rukia is about to go stop them from killing Ichigo, like literally running out there. And Renji goes, if you touch him, Rukia, you'll increase your sentence 20 years. And then Byakuya goes, even if it made your sentence harder, you feel obligated to help him. And then he looks at Ichigo and he goes, I see. This young man does indeed bear a striking resemblance to him. And then while they're talking, Ichigo's like gonna stop them from leaving, and he grabs Byakuya's like pant leg, like he's some kid trying to order chicken nuggets from his mom. Like, hey, give me nuggie. And Rukia, to cover shit up, just screams at Ichigo, how dare you touch my brother? You're just a lowly human. And then she talks to the other two, ignoring Ichigo, whose heart is broken now, and it goes, I have to go back to the Soul Society and atone for what I've done. Leave him be. Soon enough, he'll die on his own. Then there's this is why we start getting heavy lore dumps. Byakuya goes, I've shattered both his soul chain and soul sheath. he should die within an hour. And then Renji, tell me if you've heard of this before. Renji sticks his sword into the air and turns it like a key and a portal appears.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this show rules.
The violin in the soundtrack is going absolute ham right now. It's so over the top. It's hilarious. The sliding doors appear. They walk through and they start sliding shut. And Rukia just looks back at the last second at Ichigo, who's dying on the street. And Ichigo thinks to himself as he can't move because he's so weak and he's dying. He goes, I was protected again, Rukia. And then he blacks out. And as he's blacking out, Urahara shows up with an umbrella. Now, without any context or transition, I will now read my next note. Ichigo has no penis. We cut to Ichigo floating in an orange background. He has no penis. He's completely nude.
It really sucks that I'm putting that out of context quote up weeks before this comes out.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's like, they just chose an angle where he wouldn't see it. Instead, they're like, no, just
he just doesn't have one. See, it's not a weird out of context quote. Anyone who knows Bleach knows Ichigo has no penis. This is canon.
Mm-hmm.
Ichigo's thinking to himself, and he was like, I was cold. Now I feel warmth. And then it cuts to the shopkeep under the covers with Ichigo. And he screams at the shopkeep, and the shopkeep screams back, and he goes, Boss, he's awake. You told me to tell you when he woke up. And he screams, hey, I'm not dead. Where am I? And then Urahara walks in, and he goes, Mr. Hat and Clogs, is this your house?
Yeah, I love that, Mr. Hat and Clogs.
Mr. Hat and Clogs. Bob, intro yourself as that next episode.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Mr. Hat and Bob's.
Hat and Bob video games, yeah.
And then we get a little bit of recap of what happened while Ichigo was basically dying. Urahara says Uryu was healed on site by Urahara, and he just went home. He was a little worried about Ichigo, but after he healed him,
he's not a bitch like you.
Yeah, that was basically what he said, and that's basically how he felt.
He didn't get his soul chain cut. He was fine.
And then Ichigo's like, Rukia went back to the Soul Society. How am I supposed to save her? And Urahara goes, to find out how to go to the Soul Society, you have to train for the next 10 days with me. And then he explains, with the amount of strength you have now, you won't be able to do once you get there. And then Ichigo agrees. And then he goes, okay, well, it takes a month for them to execute people in the Soul Society, assuming they're going to follow their own rules for this execution. So that gives me 10 days to torture you, 7 days to open the door, 13 days once we're there to save Rukia. In order to survive this training, you'll have to have a will stronger than steel. And then he goes, and like, sort of like, I could do this. And then we cut outside at night, I believe, and you just hear,
yeah.
And then we get the next time on clip where Renji's like, I'm going to teach you how to use your Zanpakuto. Slash it, swing it, slash it, swing it, slash it. Also, for anyone paying attention, I can't read lines that I know Renji says without trying to sound like Axel from Kingdom Hearts, because they're basically the same edgelord dumbass.
Yes, it's everything I want.
I was confused for a second. I was like, is Quentin Flynn also voicing Renji?
No,
he should have been.
I know. I had to look it up. But I was like, it sounds like that's what they wanted, but they were like, oh, we already have him, so have someone who sounds like him.
When they got Quentin Flynn to play Axel in Kingdom Hearts, he's like, finally, I get to be Renji.
What was it?
Oh my God. What? Renji's voice actor's name is Wally Wingert? What kind of name is that?
If anyone is skipping these preview segments, don't. Skip to them and watch them. They are almost always funny.
And see, that's one of the nice things about using disc-based, right? We can skip the ending, the outro, which also I don't want to watch the outro 5 times.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're going to start doing those comedy bits that are actually fully animated.
Oh, cool. That's exciting.
They do that.
Because I do recall that some of the most iconic GIFs and clips are just hey, we made it 2 minutes short at the end of this episode.
That's really good.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes those are really good.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of I can't talk about it.
Nope.
It's too strong.
You can't.
Yeah, it's too strong.
I need something to look forward to, man. So we start episode 18. Ichigo's at school. He's thinking about how unreal it all feels. None of his other classmates remember Rukia. Red-haired chick is trying to convince Orihime to stay at her house during the summer because her parents are going to be missing, and it's not like she's going to ask her to take a bath with her or anything. Then it cuts to this recreation of the scene of Rukia going through the sliding door and Ichigo's mentality, and Bob goes, Rukia is huge in this shot.
Oh, no!
Because she looks nearly 8 feet tall if you think about what they showed.
Yeah, they put her like her head almost hitting the top of the door. It's like, but she's like the shortest person in the show.
Look, sometimes
she's like 4'4" or something.
she's kind of a big deal sometimes.
4'4" for Japanese people.
It's 4'9". Rukia is 4'9".
That's her.
Wait. Tosh, aren't you 4'8"? Rukia is an inch taller than my girlfriend?
L.
That's just... Every time I go, wait, fictional height... Wait, what was it? Rachel Alucard from Blaze Blue is taller than Tosh.
It's tragic.
It's fucking absurd every time I have to do this and collapse the waveform. Anyway, so Uryu Ishida didn't show up on the last day of school. He skipped. Ichigo's like, I can't believe he skipped the last day. In the middle of this giant, list of things he's thinking about while he's thinking about huge Rukia.
Yes. But yeah, he wants someone to be able to talk to that would have remembered Rukia.
Yeah. Ichigo's dipshit friend, the one who's very anti-intellectual. Keigo. I'm never going to remember his name.
I have good news.
Yeah, I'm getting that feeling. So Keigo runs up to Ichigo and he's like, hey, we should go to the beach, blah, 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 blah. And Ichigo tries to beat in his friend's skull with a stick. And then he goes, why won't anyone go to the beach with me? And then Orihime's like, well, I'm not too hot on the beach. And then everyone has their own excuses. And then their other dipshit friend.
This is the one I will never remember the name of.
Ichigo's other dipshit friend with the black hair goes, I'm going to Hawaii with my girlfriend and 10 of her friends.
Yeah, no, he's the actual Playboy one, and it's weird.
It's so funny. And then he's like, what? Keigo's upset. He's like, what? How did you get to go to Hawaii with 11 women? 11 girls! And he's furious. And then we basically end that scene. Ichigo's walking away outside, and Orihime goes, hey, I realize Rukia is missing. Why does no one else remember? And then Ichigo has to explain what happens. And that's when we get some of our highlight animation, like the image I already posted in here of their faces not fitting on their faces very well. My note says,
fine.
Her boobs and both of their faces are all over the place in this scene, and it's killing me.
It's
she does a nice impression, and then I look down and go, wow, they're just bags.
Oh yeah, no, they were huge during the impression scene. Her face was drawn funny at first because she was doing the impression, but then they went to normal face, and I'm like, this is so stupid.
I made the joke when we were watching this of, for this scene they're played by cosplayers. Is that a problem?
I constantly like throughout us watching Chugging Bleach, I keep fucking with Bob and I keep going, hello, I'll be playing Orihime in this scene.
No!
The scene looks so all over the place. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, this is easily the worst in the whole. It might be the worst in the whole thing we've watched so far of Bleach.
I think
it's so bad and it's so long.
I think so, yeah. So Ichigo explains the Soul Society that she went to there, and people will forget her, blah 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 blah, all that other stuff. And he heads out. He just leaves, and then Chad shows up at the last second. And then the cat shows up and is just creeping on them. And then Ichigo's going on a summer vacation, quote, quote. And I wrote here, they beat up their dad. Funny stuff. Ha ha.
Yes, they shove a newspaper in his throat and
Yeah, no. And that was Ichigo's two kid sisters yelling at their dad. And oh shit, I forgot the black-haired one's name.
it's Karin.
Yeah, Karin. She shoves the newspaper in his throat and just like beats him up, and he's just like, "Oh no, I'm an idiot who gets beat up. That's my whole role." That was it. We cut to Renji being a smug lieutenant walking around some sort of Japanese historical building, presumably in the Soul Society. He's walking around. People are like, "Oh, Lieutenant Renji," and he's just like, "At ease," blah 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 blah.
Forget about
And he goes up to Rukia, and he's playing tough in front of Rukia, and then she goes, "Renji, tell me, do you think I'm really going to die for this?" And Renji goes, "You're lucky your brother is pleading for you right now." And she goes, "You're right. My brother wouldn't want them to kill me. He would rather kill me himself." Renji's like, "What? You gotta be kidding. What are you talking about?" And then she goes, "In all the years he's ever known me, my brother has never looked at me once."
Turns out Rukia is just too short.
Oh no! My brother never looks down.
It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre, and I don't think they ever actually fleshed this out. Her being adopted.
No, I think it's fleshed out. I mean, we've already gone over a little bit, and they flesh it out more later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All I wrote for this scene was Renji is tsundere.
Yes. Yes. As is Axel.
Yes.
So then we get this great scene. It cuts to part B. When it comes back from the interstitial, you get to see them flying down a ladder, our main crew of Ichigo, Urahara, and the other people. Urahara just goes, "Who'd have guessed this subterranean trading place was under my store? How insane!"
What a dick.
Ichigo's just like, "Shut up." And he's like, "Come on, man."
This is why Urahara is the best character in the franchise.
Yeah, no, Urahara is great. I love this man. He does the horror writing later, and that's also really funny, but we'll get to that then. I wrote a note. "This is fucked up. I've seen this place before, never known it was right under this fucker's store." Ichigo has to go through these training routines, these tasks. And for task number 1, he has to fight the poorly drawn little girl, Ururu.
Yes!
He's like, "Are you serious? I don't want to fight her. I might hurt her." And then she goes, "Mr. Ichigo, put on this protective gear. I don't want to accidentally kill you." It had a Hyatt from Excel Saga energy.
Yes.
She just sounds like she's dying of an anime disease at all times. She's so soft voiced.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I kind of want to look at the voice actress and make sure it's not the same one.
Oh man, that would be good. I think I would have caught it if it was literally the exact same person. But Urahara's like, "You need to put on the protective gear and say something like amazing armor of justice in place." And then he's like, "I'm not going to do that. That sounds really stupid." She throws one punch and there's like a giant explosion. He just barely dodges it and he flops back and he's like, okay. Ichigo starts strapping it on and he says that he tries to say the exact thing Urahara said. And Urahara's like, "Haha, I made him say something really stupid."
Has a strong
Yeah.
teen energy.
Stop. Not here.
Wrong show.
So Ichigo keeps running while wearing this protective gear, and eventually he realizes, I've regained my speed and I don't have trouble breathing, because a part of this I cut out is his soul was knocked out of his body, but he has the chain extended from his chest. He's not a soul reaper. It's just his spirit. So his speed returns and he realizes, I can dodge her punches. And he turns around 180 and she's a bit shocked that he did that. He dodges out of the way of her punch and punches near her face, which cuts her face. And now she looks like she's going to end his fucking life.
Yeah, she goes full sicko mode.
She makes Ichigo from the other episode look level-headed.
Yes. She goes in for a sick kick.
I wrote a lore note of spirit energy increases a lot faster if it's in fear of being destroyed. there's so she goes in for that sick kick. Ichigo goes flying into a mountain, and then when the smoke clears, we see that the shopkeep guy protected Ichigo from flying straight into the mountain, and Urahara grabbed her foot so she wouldn't completely end his life.
Yeah, earlier in this, they mentioned that, she could take on a full-fledged Soul Reaper.
Oh, yeah, she could kill a Soul Reaper. That's something they said. It was like, oh, that's pretty dope. And now you see why, because she has a sicko mode, you know?
She could be Jiren.
Probably, yeah. It's a good thing we don't have that thing. We all would have picked her.
No evidence against it.
Yeah, true. Absolutely true. So they explain that whole thing of like, spirit energy increases a lot faster if it's in fear of being destroyed. That's why you don't have trouble breathing anymore, Ichigo, etc., etc., etc. And then Urahara just chops his chain off. So now the chain coming out of his chest just ends in a severed link. I think that's all they do for this moment. It's this moment of like, what? And then we cut to the cat Yoruichi teaching Orihime and Chad.
Yes.
And Yoruichi goes, your friend Ichigo is preparing to go to the Soul Society, etc., yada, yada, yada. Yoruichi led them to Ishida, apparently, and Ishida freaks out over him being a talking cat. Orihime goes, you're making a fuss out of it, Uryu. And Chad goes, if it makes you feel better, I'm struggling with it too. And he's sweating.
Chad once again steals the show.
Chad's so good. What a good guy. There's an outfit Orihime has here. It's a pink dress. I think that might be a candidate for best dress, but we'll see when we get to that segment later. Uryu basically tells them off. He's like, I'm not going to train with you. Leave me alone. And then he goes, right after they leave, like seconds after they leave, maybe 3 whole seconds after they turn away, he goes, I have special training. No one can watch the training I am about to do. And then he opens a box and it starts shitting light everywhere. It's just so fucking unbelievably bright. And it's like, dude, if you don't want them to notice, maybe wait even a few more seconds.
It's a cue, lad.
Look. It's so fucking bright.
An old man is in that box. He's angry at
it. So then we cut back to Ichigo with the chain having been chopped. And then Urahara explains, if the chain reaches your chest, then you'll become a hollow. To avoid this, you need to become a hollow?
No, become a Soul Reaper.
Okay, I was like, I wrote this note wrong. I know for a fact that is not... I don't actually read what I write during these now, which is why I'm able to take so many fucking notes. Thank God. Anyway... So then a hole appears in the ground underneath Ichigo. The shopkeep is sitting on Ichigo, and then they just drop into the ground. And apparently Ururu dug it because she's just holding a shovel.
Yeah.
It's so insane. How the fuck did she... But anyway, it just appears. He drops down there, and they explain the chain is going to do... they have a word for it, which I didn't write up here. Encroachment. It's going to encroach. During encroachment, it just... eats itself, and they show that the chain has teeth on the links eating itself away slowly, and it's really fucked up.
It's very cool.
And he goes, you have 72 hours to climb out of the shaft. If you can't do it by then, you'll become a hollow, and then we'll have to kill you. And it's crazy. And then the episode ends. This episode goes fast. Captain Kuchiki says 25 days from now, he's talking to Rukia, and Renji's there. She'll go to the execution grounds. That's the Soul Society's final decision. This will be the last time we exchange words. Rukia, the next time I see you, you will be at your execution. Or rather, Rukia, the next time I see you, will be at your execution. And Renji's freaking the fuck out over this decision. He doesn't understand this at all. We cut to Orihime and Chad trying to yell like anime characters to get their spirit power up, presumably, in this weird building with Yoruichi. Yoruichi is complaining about this shit. He's like, come on, try to remember what the hell made you guys use your soul powers before? And Chad goes, well, it was Ichigo's kid sister, so I was trying to protect her. She had black hair, and this other thing, but she had Ichigo's face. As he just imagined.
He's just imagining him
Yes.
throw up.
It's really terrible. And then cuts back outside of his imagination, and Chad is just clearly ill for what he imagined. And Yoraichi goes, well, that didn't go well for him. And then he's like, how about you, Orihime? And Orihime needs to remember the attack on her school and her friends, like Tatsuki. And the dumb fairies come back. And the cool guy fairy is very upset that he was summoned without needing to do anything immediately. And he starts antagonizing Orihime, and it's very, very funny. And she needs to get her shit together. Yoraichi starts questioning Chad's motives of going to the Soul Society and all this other stuff. And then we cut away. The chains are encroaching a lot, so Ichigo's being hurt insanely. But what Ichigo realizes is that they sleep every so often, so he tries to run up the cliff, like the sheer rock wall, every single time they sleep.
Yeah, because they have a spell on him that restrains his arms.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They did restrain his arms behind his back, so climbing up out of that hole is insanely difficult, which is the task here, by the way. I think I may have skipped over that part.
Yeah, that task from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Where
yes, I was about to say it's just that.
But there's no oil, and also he can't use his hands.
And also there are no teammates going up at the same time. The kid goes, hey, you getting hungry? And he goes, no, I'm not hungry yet. I'm in my soul. And he goes, okay, that's good. If you're in your soul form and you get hungry, that means you're one step away from being a hollow. And then he goes, what? And then Urahara takes a bite out of an apple and insanely loudly goes, And then Urahara, it fades to several apple cores being on the ground, and Urahara going, I wonder if it's dark outside. In this room, it's difficult to tell the time of day. And then the kid brings Ichigo food. He goes, by the way, the final encroachment is nothing like the other ones. They start going sicko mode and start eating the shit out of his chain. And oh God, the encroachment's nuts, and he's turning into a hollow. Oh fuck, part B.
Twing.
So once again, the chain eats itself completely. It's insane. Ichigo's like freaking out and screaming. Once it eats itself completely, he has a hole in his chest, which is now showing, and he starts pissing energy out of his face that's white and stuff, and it's weird. We go to Urahara up there, explaining that, like, oh, the mask is forming on his body. Normally, the spirit body explodes and reforms as a hollow, but he's doing these things out of order, which means he's resisting. And then we cut to the thought dimension, I guess. Where Ichigo's sitting on a building sideways, and there's a super badass who, quote, can't reach him. His name is Zangetsu, but for some reason Ichigo cannot hear his name yet. Zangetsu goes, how can you just sit there in a place like that? And then he goes, what? And then he realizes he's sitting sideways on a building, so he starts plummeting towards the street, and he goes, and starts screaming. And Zangetsu goes, if you can scream, then you have time. Remember this, the Soul Reaper power that was removed from you was just Rukia's. You have Soul Reaper power of your own. So they're just plummeting towards the street as Zangetsu explains all of this, and explains that Rukia's power awakened Ichigo's power. Now he needs to find his power of a Soul Reaper, one of these billions of boxes that are falling from the tops of these buildings that are being digitized, like it's Big Hero 6 in Kingdom Hearts. These boxes have the Soul Reaper power in it, and he goes, one of these billions of boxes has your Soul Reaper power. You must find it before this world is completely destroyed, or you will become a hollow. And then Ichigo hits the street, but there's a tiny crack in the street, and apparently that leads into water, and he goes splooge into the water, and Ichigo starts thinking to himself, how did Uryu find out that I'm a Soul Reaper? And then he remembers the red ribbon thing, and he goes, oh, one of these boxes has a red ribbon. And he looks up, and there are a bunch of white ribbons, and then there's one that's a red ribbon, and then he pulls it open, and then the sword's in there, and the Zanbakuto, and then he goes, oh.
Please enjoy the last time soul ribbons are ever mentioned.
We did it.
Zangetsu says, it is my hope that the next time you will hear my name. we cut back to outside of the thought dimension. Ichigo is just going insane with all of this hollow energy flying around and stuff. The shopkeep behind him starts wrapping Ichigo with ribbons and stabbing him with swords that he made materialize in midair. And he goes, I'm trying to restrain him, but Ichigo's so strong. I can't. And then there's a tussle. There's like effort. And then a giant explosion of energy. And then a fireball comes up out of the tunnel, lands on the ground. Of course, Ichigo's inside, but what you don't realize is he has a hollow mask and crazy red eyes and is, in fact, a Soul Reaper question mark? He's got these needles in his arm with, like, a little bit of, like, fabric there, white fabric. It's very cool looking. And one of the kids goes, is he a hollow or a Soul Reaper? And it's a very crazy moment there. Like, everything's really tense. And then Ichigo grabs his sword and busts open the mask with his hilt. And then the kid goes, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be a hollow? And he looks perfectly normal under the mask.
It's just like, that seems like the worst way to deal with that. Like, he's just smashing his own face in with his sword.
Yeah. I'm sure this is lore compliant down the road.
I can't fucking breathe, get it off! Ichigo's one of those people who's like, I wore a mask in Walmart for 2 minutes and immediately got asthma.
Yes. Then Urahara says, you became a Soul Reaper again. Lesson 2 completed. And Ichigo goes, I swore if I got out of that hole, I'd kill you first. Now, something I couldn't remember and I didn't want to rewind to check. Did he say, I swore if I got out of that hole, I would kill you first? Or the first thing that I would do is kill you? Because I swear to God, he said the former, implying he's going to kill more.
The latter makes more sense, but I don't know.
I hope it's yours.
He's definitely killing more than one person.
Then the dude who sat on me. Then that shovel.
He's just going to start killing and not stop until there's no one left, apparently.
Then he turns on his killer face, his Jack the Ripper face from earlier.
Mm-hmm. So then lesson 3, he needs to knock the hat off of Urahara with his broken Sanbakuto, because his Sanbakuto still fucking snapped. We open episode 20, my first note. The purple dude looks like Hazama from Blaze Blue. Because we're in the Soul Society, and there's a purple-haired dude who looks like Hazama from Blaze Blue. There's also... He's just doing that sly smile thing, and there's a punk with him with insanely spiky hair and an eye patch and all that shit. What's up, Bob?
He had white hair, not purple.
It looked purple.
It's got, like, purple shading is on it.
Oh,
so I can see
didn't
why.
even notice that.
Now, what was that guy's name? I wrote it somewhere.
We don't know yet. I intentionally didn't write it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I thought they said it, but okay.
Yeah, I think the only way you see that name is if you read the episode title, but they don't put the episode titles on here.
Right.
So it's not real.
And it does.
True.
You find out which squads they lead, but they don't say the names.
That's true. What was it, 11?
I don't remember.
The spiky-haired one is from 11.
Okay. So, we got a purple, allegedly white-haired dude who looks like Hazama from Blaze Blue. Then we have this punk with the insane spiked hair and an eye patch and looks like a try-hard dipshit. He's talking to, I believe it was Byakuya, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're shit-talking Byakuya because, it must be terrible royalty to have a sister who's a criminal. And then Byakuya is just not dealing with this shit. He's just like, fuck right off. And then there's a moment where they're having a cockfight. They're cut vertically to split. Byakuya on one side, dipshit punk on the other. And right before Byakuya is going to take action, things keep hypening. Hazama apparently just leaps away at the last second with the punk, and he goes, tell your sister I said hi.
Yes.
Just ties him up.
Yeah.
He had to save Byakuya from getting owned.
Yes. Yes. There was a really good moment right after this because we're coming back to Ichigo with the training, and he goes, Urahara goes, Ichigo's running away, and then he stops for a moment. And he's like, wait a second, he can't hurt me. I'm in the Soul Reaper form, blah, blah, blah. And then Urahara pulls the sword out of the cane, and he goes, you thought because I'm not a Soul Reaper that I couldn't hurt you because I don't have a Zanpakuto. Very naive. Awaken, Benihime, the Red Princess. Let us show you.
God, that voice.
Feel just thinking about, man, Dan's gonna do that on all of them.
It's fine. They'll eventually get to be so many he won't be able to.
No.
No.
Were you here for Armchair Depth's Kingdom Hearts?
There's only 108 flavors of ice cream.
Yeah, he then goes, I'll give you credit for not running away. Let me explain to your Senpacto sucks. It doesn't have the necessary strength inside of it. That's why I can cut it. And then he does that. Immediately just slices off a piece like it's a fucking sausage. Then he slices it again, and the hilt is literally all that's left, not even the handguard. It's nuts how much he could just cut this fucking sword apart. He goes, I feel like I need to let you know that if you come against me with that inferior weapon, I'll kill you. And then Ichigo starts running like a bitch and going, I'm pathetic. He starts shit talking himself. It's really good.
Turn into Excel Saga for a moment.
And then the cool guy appears in his headspace and goes, why are you running? Look forward and you should be able to hear it now. There's only one enemy and there's one of you. So what is there to be afraid of?
I'm pretty sure it's Richard Epcar. I might be wrong, but pretty sure.
It is.
Is it?
It is 100%
God
him,
damn
yeah.
it, are you serious? What a Chad. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
We need some sort of cool guy. Is Epcar available? And then Ichigo, just straight up does the Dimlo scene from Tales of, but it's Zangetsu. And he's like, Zangetsu! And then this sword gets really awesome and pisses off energy. And all I can think of is the Dimlo scene from the Tales of game. And accordingly, the Pop Team Epic parody of the Dimlo scene from that Tales of game. And then Ichigo goes, I hope you dodge this. And then he looks up with the sicko mode face and he goes, because I can't control it yet. I was like, Kyle Bosman would love this scene if he was watching it.
His shirt explodes when he does it.
Yes.
He slashes upward. There's a huge amount of energy, and then we cut to the hat flying through the air. There's a giant cleave in the ground, and Urahara just says, well, it's a good thing I used the shield, otherwise I would have lost this hand. And he has a giant blood shield in the air. I did not write down.
Yeah, he has like a full name for it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I didn't write that down. There was a lot happening. It was all very cool.
Ichigo's sword is cool. The hat is dead.
Yes, he's like, oh, you killed my hat. Good job. Ishida says, we cut to Ishida still at the mountain with his box that no one can see. And he goes, at least it's complete. And now he has a dumb glove.
Yes!
We cut to Chad and Orihime. Chad does a punch and blows out a fucking wall on the building, and Yoruichi's pissed, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? You're scaring those construction workers. And it cuts to outside the building where a bunch of construction workers are like, holy shit, what just happened?
And they just have to run from the crime scene.
Yeah, no, it's really good. He's like, okay, we all need to go. Run. And it's really great because Chad starts running for the stairs and then just starts falling down them. Or Hima starts screaming. She's like, oh my god, Chad's falling and he's really hurt. It's not good. Really good fusion of, your training arc tropes and really, really dumb comedy. Then we cut to the interstitial. So part B starts. Ichigo's got the nice vibe shirt again.
Yeah.
Still a big fan.
Yes.
Still a big fan. Really want one of those. And they're talking about how some summer event with fireworks is happening. Ichigo's dad apparently slept on the sidewalk to get the best seats possible, even though this doesn't look like a thing you line up for.
I assume it's something like cherry blossom viewing, where there's always this thing in anime of like, oh yeah, you have to sit out the night before if you really want to get a good spot. Yeah.
So, they're excited about that. They're yelling about that, and they're like, come on with us. And Orihime and Tatsuki are like, that's okay.
Waiting for the PS5.
Yes. that scene with Ichigo when he unlocks the powers. I'm like, you better dodge this because I haven't mastered it yet. As I turn on the PS5 and my TV explodes.
I haven't mastered the SSD.
Mark Cerny to Phil Spencer.
Stop! I'm getting scared.
Tatsuki has her arm in a cast. And this is very peculiar. But they explain it immediately. Tatsuki apparently was the second strongest punch girl in the country, but not the strongest. Apparently the strongest punch girl in the country put her in a cast.
Rough.
Oh, no.
So her and Orihime have the conversation about that. She's rather negative about losing, but Orihime is like, hey, you're second strongest punch girl. And she goes, yeah, I am second strongest punch girl. Orihime's like, yeah, it's going to be good. You're all good. Then Tatsuki goes, so you're visiting relatives next week? Ichigo's taking a trip that week too. And Orihime starts getting nervous. And then she's like, yeah, that's what's happening. How coincidental. And then we cut to Ichigo in his bedroom. And then he goes, Urahara's... we don't know that from this scene. He might have found one.
Detachable?
Maybe that's a power he got too. We didn't check.
The chain.
Maybe when they took Rukia's Soul Reaper powers, they took his penis and now he has it back. We don't know.
I don't know how to control it yet.
Yes, exactly. Zangetsu might be his penis.
I wish my dick was voiced by Richard Epp.
But yeah, apparently Urahara told him to wait till a specific time at his window and keep it open. And as he does that, something flies through the window that has Urahara's face on it and slams into the wall, and it's full of blood, and it's writing on the wall in what appears to be blood. And then Urahara's message is like, you need to meet me at the shop outside of there, blah, 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 blah. Ichigo's like, oh my god, what is this? Like, is it going to stain the wall? This looks like blood written by the victim in their dying message and some sort of TV crime drama. And then Urahara, somehow a second wave of this message comes out and it goes, so if you think this looks like one of those TV crime drama blood messages, you have no sense of humor. And then Ichigo's just like, what a dumbass.
Yeah.
So he starts leaving to go to Urahara's shop, and Ichigo's dad meets him outside with a talisman given to him by Ichigo's mother to wish him good luck. He's just like, what the hell are you doing? Come on, I don't need this. I might lose it or something. And he's like, I'm not giving it to you. I'm lending it to you. You need to bring it back. Think of it as a gift from your mother. And he's like, nah. And then we cut to his dad just being weird as shit, like drawn as a goblin.
Yes, I love this.
He's just yelling really dumb shit, and Ichigo's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And
you better bring it back or I'll shave all my hair.
Yeah, he says, I'll shave my beard. And I'm like, what? What even? All right. This dad is weird.
That's like the really good meme edits now of, oh, you shaved, and it's the Chad Yes guy. And he has no chin.
I haven't seen that. It's really good.
It's not good.
So Ichigo shows up at Urahara's shop. Chad is waiting there too. He's gonna go. So is Uru, Ishida, and Orihime. Uru is dressed very differently.
Yeah, he's got his cool outfit on. They show up in one episode for last time we saw him.
Yeah, it's a very, very cool outfit. Apparently,
his raw outfit.
Yep, and that's what he's here to do. He's here to be raw. Yoruichi shows up and he goes, Ichigo, I'm so happy to see you. And then Ichigo freaks out because Yoruichi is a fucking talking cat. Orihime yells about, wait, we haven't gotten there yet. But Orihime's just like, why are you freaking out too? And then both Ishida and Chad are just like, yeah, no, it's fucking weird. We know. And then we cut to the inside, and this is the best delivery on a joke ever. Orihime goes, wow, it's so amazing that this giant place is underneath the shop. Who would have thought?
What a good payoff.
It's really good. And Urahara really appreciates her appreciating that. Urahara is so great. But then we get lots of lore dumped. Really quick, we're going to explain the door to the Soul Society is going to be opening through this tunnel. The tunnel is called the Senkai Mon. I think that's the Tunnel World Gate, as they say it after that, Tunnel World Gate.
Spirit particle conversion.
They do talk about that's a part of it.
Yeah.
Unlike normal gates, this one has a particle soul conversion machine. The conversion machine will convert the rest of you, outside of Ichigo, who's already been knocked into Soul Reaper form by Urahara, into souls. The window of time the gate can be kept open is only 4 minutes. They will travel through an area called Dungai, the in-between world, and if you don't get past it in those 4 minutes, then you'll be trapped there forever. Then Yoruichi goes, the will to go forward will be your guide. And then starts playing that song with the Technocat instrument, which is still my favorite.
Yeah.
And then they all rush in, and there's a blinding light, and Urahara looks at the portal, and he touches it, and it zaps him, and he pulls his hand away, and it's seemingly he can't go through it at all, which is very mysterious.
What could it mean?
What could it mean?
Also, it's a portal from Minecraft. It's just made entirely of cubes. He had to build it out of obsidian so they could go to the Nether.
Now I'm like, wait, what's the timeline? Didn't that update come out after Notch left? It was basically at the same time, confusing. Anyways, Urahara goes, we're all counting on you, Ichigo. And then it ends. And that was the episodes in review. I hope everyone enjoyed that insane amount of lore. It's very action-packed with lots of lore. Oh my god. And now I'm seeing the Chad with the shaved face. This is a nightmare.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
Yes.
It really be like that sometimes.
Yeah, that's Ichigo's dad.
But we can see his chin.
Right?
He's got
That's what you think.
That's what
he's
you
got
think.
the lowest amount of stubble imaginable. He's like, nah, if I lose this, I look terrible.
I'll have to own myself by shaving. But yeah, that was Chugging Bleach episode 4's recap. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Jesus Christ.
Now, should we just wait until we have a new intro and outro to review at the same time? Should we just do that, or should we try and review this outro?
Are we getting a new?
No, when we get a new intro, they're gonna do ending 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they're swapping
no.
them out every half season, aren't they?
I thought we were getting a new intro next episode, but I'm not sure.
I'm gonna check right now.
I'm pretty sure new intros are every 26, new outros are every 13.
We got our best scientists on this one moment.
I mean, there's just a page of them.
I know, but you're checking it for us, so you're our best scientist.
Yes.
Top men.
We've got our top man on it.
We got a man.
Yes, it will change again.
Yeah.
So we have to do it now.
Okay. I think this new outro is really great. I like the song for it a lot. The animation is almost not there.
Yeah.
But it's still...
Oh man, that animation's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got walking Wukia, which is really awkward looking.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the song really pulls this one through, but the animation just isn't there.
I like this band a lot.
I really have no idea why that first intro even exists. That first outro even exists.
It is that fucking bad.
Well, it's that bad, and this is also like the same genre as the opening.
Yeah, it fits a lot better with the opening.
So it's just like if you're saying that like the Japanese hip hop Orange Range type sound is part of Bleach's identity, why was your first ending? And not just this, which you started using after 3 months anyway.
Took time to license this song, okay?
Yeah.
They had to deal with ear bleeding first. Anybody else got anything to say about this outro?
Obviously better than the first outro. I feel like we should just have to come to a decision on ranking these.
Okay.
True.
I'm going to say this is number 1, that's number 2. I think that's a pretty easy statement. As we go, this will get harder.
Yeah, sure. Let's just do ranks and not try to put numbers to each
we're
one.
locked in.
Yeah, there's no arguing it.
No one's gonna run a bit saying the first one was better.
Not even once through this whole series.
Not even me.
It makes me feel better about how I sing.
I like it because I don't even know who I am either.
I feel like the old me never would have liked that song, but the new me loves it.
All right. So now we get to move on to my favorite segment, the best dressed of these 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'll have Feel go first.
Renji with his cool goggles that I think we see like 1 or 2 more times, but most of the time it's not there.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention when Ichigo slashes him and it busts the fucking visor thing and he's got blood
I'm
and
pretty
shit on his forehead.
petrified they don't show up after this.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think he just replaces it with the headband.
What?
Yeah, I don't think that he ever gets the goggles again,
What
unless
the
he gets
hell?
them one more time.
I think he has goggles back 1 more time.
Jesus
Then he's just
Christ.
like, they keep getting broken. I give up.
These things are $700 each time. I'm not buying Google Glass even one more time.
They might not. They might just like never show up in actual material again and relegated to like, here's a filler episode where he tries to buy replacements.
I don't even remember that. Oof. What do you have, KZ?
Also Renji, when he was in that nice robe when he was just hanging out in the Soul Society.
It is a really good look. That I wrote that down for one of my options.
He looked so fresh. I was like, I need this. I hope no one takes it.
Dan?
I actually really liked Orihime's pink dress, like the design of it. I'm gonna have to go with that. She changes out of that by the end of these episodes, but
Yes.
it was good while it lasted.
She changes out of that face too.
Thank God. But yeah, no, it's a really neat design. I wish I took a picture so I could post it at this moment, but it has nice little details in it. But to be fair, if I were to just go shit that I legitimately want to wear, a nice vibe shirt always wins.
Yes, it can win twice. Nobody's stopping it.
Yeah,
You want to get that shirt.
I do. I really do.
For mine, I'm gonna have to select the shirt that Ishida shows up in episode 16 when he's trying to save Rukia. It's like this blue shirt with a cross on it, and it's really cool. It has like little line detail on it.
Yeah.
But I was really close to selecting the Ururu's mushroom outfit that she wears while beating up Ichigo, because that's also really good.
Yes.
I was too distracted by her. Like, are you prepared for the death you've earned, Widowmaker? Like fucking energy.
I don't want to imagine, and this is Ururu, voiced by Dobo.
There's a lot of characters in Bleach that are basically could be voiced by Dobo.
But she has Dobo energy.
She's arcing with Dobo energy.
I think a certain pink-haired character has more Dobo energy.
Man, I actually forgot to mention the part where they were slowly spitting on Ichigo
they
in
were
the
hanging
pit.
drool on
Yeah,
him.
they're like, come on, let's drop our spit onto Ichigo.
It's probably
He's
thirsty.
screaming in horror.
Yeah, that's why he was going to kill more than one person.
That's true. That's true.
Fair.
That's why I was like, oh my God, he's just going to kill them all. Oh my God.
Honorable mention for best dressed to Chad. I really like his red Hawaiian shirt that he was just wearing.
Chad's always got a good sense of style.
Yeah, he does.
All right, Dan, this is the last time we can do this segment.
Okay.
Is this better than the live-action version of Bleach?
Let me say, while watching these episodes, I kept thinking about the live action version of Bleach and how none of this happens in that movie.
Yeah, right?
Oh no.
And it just makes me even more afraid of watching that movie at some point, because I'm like, my God, this is so far removed from what's in that movie, and it's so much better than what's in that movie. What even was that movie? So yeah.
The Bleach live action movie.
Yeah, I'm going to say that this is a lot better than the Bleach live action movie, Bob.
They shipped a movie called Bleach.
All right.
What are they thinking?
Field, do you have a piece of trivia for me?
Okay. The term Quincy was actually based on Quincy Morris from the novel Dracula, because Kubo mentioned that, like, since they're monster hunters, he always thought archery would be the best way to kill a vampire since arrows are basically wooden stakes. Is it true or not? The bit.
Not everyone watched every episode of Chugging Bleach. Thank you.
Yes, the bit is that I present Bleach trivia, and it's either something true because Bleach has a lot of insane trivia, like Ichigo's theme song being a Bad Religion song, and I can just make shit up, and it might be similar enough to trick people.
So I'm a little worried.
All right, you can go first then.
What? That doesn't make sense. It makes too much sense. In fact, that was the first thing I said about the Quincy's. I think I may have said that last episode.
Yes.
So I'm going to say it's not true because it makes too much sense, but I instantly thought of that.
KZ, what do you think?
I'm pretty sure he's right in that he directly said this last episode, so I have to say no now.
I'm also going to bet on no, just because it is too salient.
You're right. It was too coherent. I made it up.
Oh my god!
Because that had an energy of, hey Dan, I looked up that thing you said, and it ended up true, or did it? I'm just like, uh-oh,
bump, bump, bump.
Dan.
Dan's like, I love being right, but this is a trap.
All right.
Don't throw KZ life preservers anymore.
Okay, KZ goes first next time.
Yes, of course.
You won't remember.
Yes, I will.
Oh no!
All right. Let's see. Now it's time for us to rate it on our tightness scale. Something that's always fun. It goes from 0 to 25.
Hell yeah!
KZ, how tight was this?
This is pretty tight. I enjoyed the metric ass ton of lore that happened throughout this. I genuinely forgot about the some of the training segments, so they were delightful.
Yes.
Especially that Ururu fight where I'm like, I forgot how good this shit is. We're coming up on the really cool stuff too, and I forgot how crackheaded the show starts becoming this early, so I'm gonna have to give this 21.
All right. Let's see. What do you think, Feel?
This is really good. Like, it's pretty strong, except for the parts where it looks like everyone working on its arms were broken.
Yes, it does look like I said. Well, roughest is this whole series so far.
Yeah, you are watching shonen anime.
I think this is pretty strong, but it could still. We're still not at the peak, so I'm just gonna give it a 20.
All right, I'll go. I agree with Feel. I think that this is really good stuff. I think there's actually some better stuff in the last set, but this has some. It's like really mixed because it has really bad animation, then really good jokes. So I'm gonna have it said it was 20 as well.
Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this tracks with the last 2 episodes of Chugging Bleach. That there are some really strong advantages that come from lore and stuff and other things. But the animation just gets so laughably bad. Like, this is the first episode where a human's face had a seam in it, literally.
Dan, I think that's a positive, to be honest.
It's a little rough. Like, Ichigo doesn't even look like Ichigo during the fucking conversation with Orihime. And her boobs are all over the place. It's fucking insane. And oh man, some of the Rukia running at the beginning of 16 was so rough.
Dan,
like we
Dan,
didn't give that enough time. I'm gonna
please
say
give it an 18.
No, I'm giving it a 20 because I really like the lore stuff. I feel
like
it's just combating really bad animation half of the time.
Yeah. This is the lore stuff I feel like they stick to pretty well. Now, of course, we can call me out later in this series if that changes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is when the lore starts being more consistent with itself.
There's only one thing in this where it's like, where it contradicts itself super hard later. But most of this is like the most basic setup they largely keep to.
And that puts our total to 81. This is the highest set we've seen for Bleach so far.
But only just
we
barely.
did it. We we reached a new peak. Episodes 1 through 5 had a 64, then 6 to 10, and 11 to 15 got 79. Now this 81. Oh, we're climbing.
Yeah, we finally hit a B.
Yes, exciting. Man, this has been some good Bleach.
Hey, Bob.
What's up?
So what are we watching for the next episode of Chugging Bleach?
I'm glad you asked, KZ. It sounds like it might be a certain live-action movie we've been talking about for the last 4 episodes.
Oh, that's troubling. That's very troubling.
Because now we've covered all the content.
This means all of us have to answer is this better than the live-action Bleach thing in every episode after that.
No, for that one, is this better than the first 20 episodes of Bleach?
No, I mean after we all watch it, we have to do it forever.
Yeah, because everyone now has a frame of reference for that movie.
I thought we would be able to put the bit to rest completely, but no. It's going to come back with a zombie for the whole thing.
Yes, but Dan can't answer from now on.
What? That's bullshit. Watching the live-action Bleach was a very formative experience for my introduction to the world of Bleach, and please look forward to how that went next time.
Yes.
Phil.
Yeah.
We're gonna go around the table. Guess what the number is gonna be for the Bleach live-action movie tightness scale? We need to guess now.
Okay. 30.
Bob.
Like our total number.
Yeah, the total number across all 4 of us combined.
I'm cheating because I've seen it, but I'm going to say we're going to hit 35.
Dan.
42. I think everyone's going to average around 13 points.
Shit, that's smart.
It's
39.
It's sad
Man,
that none of us were like 50.
I hope it doesn't get a 42. That'll be fucking... It'll be... Also, Dan, if each of us gave 13, that would be 52.
Oh my god, he's right. I'm going to move my number up to 52.
No!
How the fuck did I fuck up the math that bad? Man, I need to sleep.
If it gets a 52, that means there will be big stretches of actual Bleach lower than the Bleach live-action movie.
And those it'll be very easy for us to be consistent with. Is this better than the live-action movie? There will be math.
There's going to be a moment where someone goes, I don't fucking care what the numbers say, it's worse.
I changed my score 0.
Okay, with that said, I think we need to end this episode of Chugging Bleach. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Bob needs to develop a catchphrase.
He desperately does.
Thank you for chugging Bleach with us. Stay clean.
Oh. I'm gonna stop recording now.
That's the catchphrase. Okay, I'm stopping the recording.
The catchphrase of the GigaBoots Podcast Network. Okay, I'm stopping the recording.
Yes.
This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by our lordly executive producers: Esme, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, We Fall Now, and the Ghost of Adam Admar implores you to play more Saga. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. Soar on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots and become an executive producer today.